Hi, today I'm going to talk about how to create a Sankey diagram in Tableau. So before this video I have created two examples and I can show you there are some difference. I'm using two different methods to create the same type of visualization. So as you can see that here on the left hand side I have a categorical variable, same on the right hand side, and then we can see that how the relationship between these two, you can show what their progression, or we can consider as a tree diagram, and you can see the dynamic transformation between two the dynamic relationship between two variables. If you can add some more filters, and then you can see a change in this diagram. My other Sankey diagram is something like this. The difference between this and the previous one is that my branches are more thicker, which cover the entire region, and then I also create an action filter. As you can see that when you hover over the area, you can see that for example this blue part divert into two sections and then go into the two parts on the right hand side. When you hover over, you can see that this part can also point it back to the previous to the left hand side. So basically Sankey diagram is something like this. So now I'm going to show you how to create this. It's a bit complicated, but when you finish it, you can do a lot of adjustment to make your visualization very fancy and very meaningful. So today I'm still going to use the sample store. So I'm just going to go over how you can create this Sankey diagram, but not go over too much into detail regarding what are the calculations doing here. Actually, if you are very familiar with Tableau, actually you can understand some part of the calculation. So this one is my x-axis. So I'm going to create this one to put it in the row. And then I'm also going to create another calculated field. So these two calculations are to tell my are telling Tableau where to put my line, or where do I want to draw the line for my Sankey diagram. They are numerically meaningless, but graphically meaningful. So the reason I choose region and category is that I'm going to use these two values to show that so basically let me finish this first. So if you remember the example that I just showed you, so here I'm going to put region on the left hand side, category on the right hand side, and then I'm going to draw the relationship, the connection between these two category. But you have to make sure they both are categorical variables. So here I'm going to split the data into two parts, so it's either 1 or 49. The reason I choose 49 is that when you plotted the Sankey diagram, this will help you to cut the data into 49 interval, which will help your line to look very smooth. Otherwise, they might look very sharp, like a right angle or the turn, when there's a curvature happens in the sigmoid function, which we will talk about later. So we have finished two calculated fields for the position of the curve. So now I'm going to have to do another calculated field called sigmoid function. So if you are familiar with artificial neural network, you will know that sigmoid function plays an important part in the in machine learning. So basically, you just transfer data into the interval of between 0 and 1. So basically, it's just like something like logistic regression. Okay. So I have two calculated fields. One is to put on the row and one is to put into the column. And then I have another sigmoid function to calculate the curvature. So now I'm going to, and I also need to create another okay, so I have 4 things that I just created. So now I'm going to drag this one to row. Okay, so if you don't see something like this when you are doing this, when you are creating, when you drag it here, make sure to check show missing value. So like I said, we are just creating a predefined data that is interval between 1 to 49 and then size equal to 1 with this bin we just created. Okay, so now just drag that to detail. Okay, let me create another calculated field for the curve. Actually, it's called rank 1. So my rank 1 is on my left hand side, which is region or category. And I will create another rank 2, which is the same thing but for the right hand side. So for rank 1, the calculation should be something like this. So running sum, and then sum of I choose number of record is because I want to show like how many of items from region are transferred to the category, or how many numbers of categories are items in this category went into a different region. So that's the reason I choose number of record here, and then divide it by the total sum number of record. Okay, so everything I just created are all table calculation, so it won't be meaningful when you look at them. However, it will only be meaningful when you put them into a visualization. So I have two rank, and now I'm going to create another curve. So basically just rank 1 plus rank 2 minus rank 1. And then multiply by the sigmoid function. And this will give you the curvature here. So I have created 2 fields. One is the things that we're going to put on the both axes, a sigmoid function, 2 rank for both left hand side and right hand side, and then another curve for showing to adjust the curvature in between. So now we are going to input all the things that we created into Tableau. So first of all, put this T on the column shell. Compute using the bin we just created. And then we are going to input the category and region into detail. This category and region are the categorical variable that we want to show on both sides. So you can choose some other pills, or as long as they are dimension. And then I'm going to bring the curvature into the row and change this to circle. So now comes the complicated part. So we have to edit the table calculation. So as you can see that there are three things here. One is rank 1, rank 2, and T under this curve here. So for rank 1, we have to choose specific dimension and choose everything. So let's say we want to see category on the left and region on the right. So we put category on the top, region, and then the bin at the bottom. The order here really does matter, so make sure you follow the step here. Okay, so now move on to rank 2. And then we still going to select everything, but now we're going to put region in front of category. So basically just in the reverse order as in rank 1. You can see that we are already seeing something here. So if you cannot follow you can pause the video and then make your adjustment to your Tableau. So for the T, we just need to select the bin, and then that's it. So you can see that there are already some curvature happens here. So let's so now we are going to do some formatting here. So like I said, so actually there are some discrepancy on the site, so we can actually just cut off the parts that we are looking for. So for example, the region is -6 to 6, since this is an arbitrary number that we just calculate from one of the calculated field. So actually we can just choose, we only need to use the part that is from -5 to 5, so that you can see that the graph already look a little bit nicer. And it's for the vertical axis, to me it seems okay for now, so I'm just not going to do anything. So now I can change this to line. And there's something I need to do here. Wait. I kind of forget. Let me create another calculated field when so this size is going to help you to adjust the size for the curve. So I'm still using number of record to show that if there are more items moving in between, then the curvature, the size will be, the curvature will be thicker. Or if there are less items moving, then there will be then the curvature will be thinner. Oh, I remember. So I need to change this to path to tell the Tableau which line or direction that I want to make the line to go to move. So now I can change this category to color and region to color as well. Then I'm going to drag the size here, and then for table calculation using the bin, and you can also adjust the size. Okay, so now we are almost done. Then we are going to create the bar for both sides. So basically we want to show number of record again on row. So the left hand side is category. You can see that there are three categories. On the right hand side we want to show region. There should be 4 different regions. So now let's put everything into a dashboard. Okay. And then the right hand side is region. Okay. And then it's just the matter of formatting. So we can hide everything since they doesn't make any sense numerically. They are only helpful when we are creating the graph. So now you can see that the blue part has been separated into 4 parts. So actually they seems like furniture. When furniture was sold in all 4 regions. Same for office supply and same for technology, since you can see that there are 4 different branches here. So you can, for formatting, you can actually hide the grid in the background for this one. And so we can also change the color, so green, orange, and blue. So we can do green, orange, and blue. So now we can see that. Yep. Also, we can let's show some text, and for the tooltips here, you will see that none of the value makes sense except for the size. So the size here is actually the number of record. So I just type in number of record, but if you are using a different dataset, that number may mean different things to you. So you can see that 599. I'm not sure. 599 orders for furniture was sold to Central region, and 293 was sold to East region, and 535, and then 420. So if you add these 4 numbers, you will get the sum of this one, and then you can validate that. And there are lots of adjustment or things you can do after this part. You can create an action to do something like when you hover over, it will highlight it the things that you want to focus, even from right to the left. And you can also add the tags, add the percentage, the running total. So add the table calculation, percent of total, and then drag that into the, so you can see that of all the others, 21% from furniture, 60%. And you can also drag the size into label. So the size is actually number of records, since we use number of records to do the calculation. So it means like there are 2,000 orders were made for this about furniture. So the number here, all the calculations we just did are for graphing purpose. So numerically speaking, they're not meaningful. So you need to do some other calculation to convert the number and to put them into the graph. So as you can see that the size is actually meaning how many items were moved between category and region. So although the graph is fancy, the working process is I would say it's complicated. And if you don't know how to interpret the result, then maybe you should change another type of visualization. So the explanation for the graph can be a little bit difficult. So make sure you really understand the number, or to validate, to check the number before you present your Sankey plot in Tableau. So there are a lot more you can do for this visualization. But today I'm just going to go over how you create a Sankey plot diagram in Tableau. So thank you very much, and let me know if you have any question. If you like the video, please share or subscribe to this channel. Thank you.